Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to share with you the review of the Minix X8-H Plus, which is the latest device available from Minix. I just passed the last week testing it out, and a spoiler alert, it worth every penny that I've paid for it. Actually euros, but you get the point. So if you are interested in this device to see if it's worth it or not for what you are looking for, just stay tuned and take a look at the review. Now let's start by taking a closer look at the packaging itself from this Minix Android TV box, which at the moment of the recording, of course, this is the Minix latest device available on the market, the new X8-H Plus, and it features the quad-core CPU Amlogic S812. And besides the main units, I also got the Minix new M1 Airmouse, which we will cover later on. And taking a look at one of the sides of the case, we will see the main features of this device, while on the other side of the case we will see a list of contents, but we will take a closer look during the unboxing. Now, to wrap things up in this packaging part of the video, at the bottom we will find some more detailed specifications about this Minix Android TV box. Regarding the unboxing experience, is as nice as opening any other device for the first time. Just peel that plastic off and that will be it. Now, on my opinion, this case really feels and looks really sturdy, really high quality, nothing new for the Minix products. On the top we will find a product brochure and also a help setup guide, and after that we are free to take our units off. There's also included a HDMI cable, a OTG cable that you may use to connect to any other device if you feel the need to. Now, a external antenna with the SMA connection, so you can replace with a more powerful antenna if you feel that you need a more powerful Wi-Fi connection, and a power adapter, a mini USB to USB cable. And finally, we will also find the IR remote included in this Minix package. As I said on my package, it came with the Minix Neo M1, which is indeed a great remote, especially compared to the regular IR remotes. This one here has indeed a bigger range, and the biggest advantage besides air mouse or fly mouse is that you can point out at any direction and the device will capture the signal. So that's a great plus for this device. Not wanting to waste your time and repeat myself, I would like to share with you just this quick frame here, which displays all the accessories that you can expect if you order the new X8-H Plus. Taking a closer look at the unit itself, you will find the Minix logo on top with a really high quality plastic, and you will not be scratching or fingerprinting your device easily. Just as a size comparison, I placed it next to my Minix X5 Mini, and you'll be the judge of it to wonder if it's too big or not for you. For me, in my opinion, it's just at the right size compared to other devices that we find on the market. Looking at the front of the device, you will see, at least in my opinion, a great feature, which is nothing. The absence of annoying lights that can bother you in dark places like a bedroom. On the left side we will see that SMA connection antenna, which, as I said before, can be replaced with a more powerful antenna if you feel the need to it. In my case, I will use Ethernet for this cases, but hey, this is a great option for those that really need more power on the Wi-Fi connection. On the right side we will find a power button, which is great, a headphone jack, a microphone input, USB, SD card slots, and finally a OTG connection. At the back we will find a power jack Gigabit Ethernet connection, which is one of the major differences from the latest model, 2 USB inputs, optical out, HDMI, and finally the reset or recovery button. Looking at the bottom, we will find 4 nice rubberized feet that will help to place in any surface without the risk of slipping. Taking a look back at the IR remote included, it does not feel cheap at all. The rubber and the plastic feels really solid. Batteries not included, just a side note, but nonetheless everything works great. The only downside that I found in any IR remote is that you will have to point to the device itself so you can capture the signal. On the other hand, we have the M1 Airmouse, which you can point this thing at the ceiling and it will get the signal to your device, which is a great plus in my opinion, besides of course the Fly Mouse and Airmouse. Now this has a lithium rechargeable battery which you can just connect to USB hub and it will get your device ready. Not to mention it will work in any operating system, which we'll cover a little bit further. Once we turn it on, we will have the choice of two launchers, both pre-installed on this machine. Now, the one that we are seeing on screen right now is the default launcher that will come on any Android device with the KitKat version. But hey, one of the great features of Android devices is that you are not limited by what it comes from factory, especially the launchers. You can just go to the Google App Store, download your favorite launcher and personalize it the way you want. Minix also includes their own version of the launcher, and as you can see by the screen, it has a more flat design, which is not new to us, but hey, for those that just want to use this device for media consumption with the use of IR remote, I can see the advantages of this type of launcher with big icons, and anyway, you can customize it the way you want, add or remove the apps that you use more on this front screen. Playing around with the remotes, what I can say is that the IR remote included in the box is more than capable to be able to play around with this type of devices, especially if you are browsing around and choosing your favorite app like XBMC or KODI and then just choose your movie and play it. Now, the only downside that I can see here is that you will have to point out directly to the device, as I mentioned before. On the other hand, we have the M1 Airmouse, which feels really different. You can just put it in your pocket, press the key, and it will be responsive as it was on front of the device. Besides that, it has the Airmouse or Fly Mouse capability, which will help to browse around faster, especially if you want to swap screens like I was doing on there. Now, on my case, I will need a little bit of learning curve to use this functionality just because I'm not used to it. But hey, it's a great feature to have. On the specifications, it states that it works with Windows, OS X, Linux and Android. So on Android we already saw it works. Linux, unfortunately, I don't have it. So I give it a shot on my Windows-based machine and guess what? It just works. Now just plug in that USB adapter that we saw and you will not require any drivers or any additional software. Just works fine. I also give it a shot on my wife's Imac and the same happened. Plug in the USB adapter and play around with it. As you can see, I'm not very accurate yet, but it's not difficult to work with, and overall I'm very well impressed with this remote control. For those of you that are interested in benchmarks, I did run a couple of tests and one of them was Geekbench 3, which the scores you can see at the screen. Now this is mostly interesting if you want to compare this device with any other device that is already on the market. Now you can use this screen and pause it to see in more detail, or you can easily go to Geekbench 3 browser and see exactly where it sits depending on the scores of other devices you already know in the market. Besides Geekbench 3, I also run Antutu benchmark, which besides performing a benchmark on the CPU will also give us a more general idea where this device sits on, performing tests on the GPU side of things and overall the components that this device comes in. Now the oldest model of Minix X8-H scored a score, at least what I found on the internet, scored around 24,000 on this particular benchmark, which is Antutu, and we are seeing here the new X8-H Plus scoring 30,811, 31,000. So it is quite a difference on the CPU side of things. So it's really interesting to see that there's a huge difference from this CPU to the previous one. I also wanted to give you an idea how the network works on this device, and I did two connection types. One Wi-Fi, which we are watching at the screen this moment, which will give me 5 megabytes, 6 megabytes download and 6 megabytes upload. Now I also tried a power line connection which is how I have my device connected. And of course, I have a superior speed. We are talking about 25 megabytes download and about 20 megabytes upload. Of course, if you have a direct connection to your router through the Ethernet cable, you will have superior speeds than this. So all in all, it will be capable of playing everything depending, of course, on your network power. But benchmarking just means squats if we don't compare it with real-world applications that we will use on our daily basis to enjoy ourselves. And I did start with a section of gaming, which personally is not my main target for this type of device, but I wanted to give it a shot and see how it worked. So I tried 3 different games: Cars, Despicable Me and Beach Buggy, and what I felt using a gamepad was a very similar feeling to use a gaming console. That's right, using a gaming console instead of a TV box, which is what it is. Now, I totally forget that I was using a TV box because this was just very responsive. Nothing seemed laggy, no glitches, no failures at all. Even though I don't game, I could see myself, my wife and my kid having some fun on the living room on this device, playing some games. And here the GPU really shines, that is capable of playing any demanding game, and of course games that will be released on the future. Now we reach the part that matters to me most, which is video playback and media streaming in general, and for that my favorite app has to be XBMC. Well, doesn't have to be, but it is. And this particular version of XBMC is the Minix version. I only found one downside on this, which is the buffering that you are watching on the screen. Downside doesn't mean that is a downside for everyone, just personally for me, and that is just because my network is more than capable of starting and playing through a whole video without the need to buffer. Now, on the other hand, if you have a network that is not so strong as mine, you will find that this downside for me will be an upside for you, just because when you start your video, it will buffer before it starts, and once it starts, it will not play. You will not have any type of glitches. I did also give it a try with 4K, and here you can see once again the buffering happening there. But once that is finished, the video will just start to play and you will see no problems, no glitches whatsoever, and it just plays fine. Now, I didn't know if it was my brain fooling my eyes or my eyes fooling my brain, but even though I don't have a 4K TV, this 4K sample footage really seemed nice. Colors, all the contrasts, all the details seemed really, really nice. And one more thing to mention is that you can just browse around that 4K video on this device. You will feel just as a 180p or a 720p with all the full details. Now, this is the Minix version of XBMC. XBMC Gotham, I did try it, but as it didn't play 4K, I just didn't include it on this video. So I did advance to the KODI version, which is XBMC with a different name and probably a few different features. The difference between KODI and Minix version of XBMC, as you could see on screen, was that KODI does not do any type of buffering, which in my particular case is the best. I just press the button and there we go. No need to buffer, just plays and have no glitches. We can do the same sort of browsing, just press forward and it will go forward or backwards and it will just play fine. On the 4K section, what I felt was that everything went fine without the buffering, which once again, in my particular case, I don't require buffer to play around. So the experience was exactly the same as the XBMC Minix version, with the exception that KODI, on my particular case, is more friendly. It doesn't do any buffering, so I will not lose any seconds while playing. 4K was really a surprise for me, although it's a media type that I don't consume at the moment. This device is ready to consume it a lot. So if you are thinking of consuming 4K videos, this is definitely a great device for that. Without any glitches, without any problems, you will play any type of video that you have on your library. On my case, all my videos are stored in my network attached storage and then delivered through my network and this device, as all the other devices that I have on my home will just capture the same way and display it. And as you could see while I was talking, there was no problem in 4K display. I did give it a try, did browse around, fast forward and then backwards, and everything just went fine. So this is a great option for those that, even if don't play 4K right now, are looking to in the future. Lastly, I give it a try to the mirroring capabilities, and in this case with the iPad mini, it had no issues at all. It's very responsive, as you can see, very little delay, which by the way happens with any device doing AirPlay or Mirrorcast or similar. Now, for me personally, this is something that I don't use regularly. I definitely can see the benefit and the value of this feature, which is a plus in any device that can bring this. One side note, I didn't have any Android device to try this capability, but I guess that it will work just as fine as this iPad is doing. One of the things that I see most positive on this characteristic is that you may play the video on your screen while you keep working on your tablet, sending emails or play on the app while your friends or your family is watching anything that you want on the TV. I also give it a shot to mirror my wife's iMac to this Minix box, and yes, as you can see on screen, it's working just great. Now, if you follow the channel for a while, you know that I've been testing a few devices on the past just to get this feature alone to work perfectly. And when I mean perfectly, I mean 180p Full HD resolution, video and audio playback perfectly. No glitches, no breaks whatsoever. That's the way I want to consume our media. Now, in my case, and in my particular case alone, this feature here is just for one purpose: to use the iPhoto app and to make real-time slideshows to show on our living room TV when our families are here, when our friends are here, and I don't want to spend time rendering a slideshow to show later, so I just want something on the fly, as you can see on the screen right now, and this device is capable of doing that just great. My feeling was that the iMac, which is about 10 meters away, was connected directly through HDMI to the TV. That's honestly what I felt. Now, didn't have any sort of delay, any sort of glitches. Everything works great. So the other devices that I had to do this feature alone, I will be ditching them because they are redundant right now, as this Minix box is capable of, as you could see on the video, so much more, and I didn't cover it all, so it has more capabilities. And besides all that capabilities, also does this for me, which is great. My iPhoto library display photos on the living room on the fly. This really made my day. I don't know how can I express more than this. So guys, all in all, having all the other features that we mentioned plus this one here makes a great device, and for sure in my particular case was one of the best devices that I bought this year, 2014.
Okay guys, so we have reached the end of this review, and if you stick so far on the video, thanks for that, and hope you enjoyed this a little bit different video that I usually do on my channel. I would like to point a few things out before I go, and one of them is this is definitely the best gadget that I bought so far on 2014. So if you are wondering if this is worth it or not, of course you will be the judge of it, but in my personal opinion, this is the best gadget 2014 that I acquired. Now, the second thing that I would like to say is that when you see the review, the image quality of the camera does not make the judge of the exact quality that we see with our eyes. So take that in mind. That is not exactly the quality. It's far away from that. So that's something that I would like to point out. When I'm editing, or when I did edit a video, I saw a big difference from what I was watching with my eyes. So take that in mind. And the other thing, which I cannot stress enough, is the capability of this device to mirror my wife's iMac with the iPhoto library that you saw on the video to our living room without any problem at all. When I did the test of that and it worked perfectly. So that made my day. After all the things that I tested, testing that was just unbelievable. Now, guys, this will be one of the last videos of this year. Hope everything is okay with you. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up, and don't forget, if you are looking for a device like this, this is it. Thanks for watching. My name is Roberto George, and I'll see you on the next one.